All right, let's turn it over to Danny D. Champlain. Thank you. Burning question on the minds of everyone here, I think. Jonathan, if you were a tree. Just kidding. I wanted to ask, you two have come through the ranks as junior players, and this is the first tournament where we've had a little bit of a hiccup in terms of attendance. It was down a bit. I think we had a total of 170-ish, where typically we've been in the 220, 230, 240 area. And the tournament has been all about developing juniors and keeping squash going and keeping that next cycle coming through. And hoping to get both of your perspectives on what needs to happen to keep this great game going.
Well, I think it's going well. I mean, the numbers are increasing every year, and you know, you got, when I was playing, there was just junior tournaments. Now there's gold tournaments, silver tournaments, bronze tournaments. I mean, there's a lot of kids playing, and there's more kids every year. Whether they wanted to spend the money coming from Quebec or Ontario to fly out here, I think that should be reserved generally for the best kids, the kids that are going to perform, because that's an expensive ticket. So if you're going to come and, you know, for the experience, your parents better be rich. But if you want to, like, I think for the kids that want to measure themselves, that are truly there in the top 4 in the country in their age group, then they should be out here for this tournament. And I think you saw that. I mean, the under-19s, they were the best under-19s in the country here, in the men's side especially. So, I mean, they do rate this tournament the same way. Maybe it's not the same in total numbers, but I mean, I'm working with some kids in Toronto, and I know they've been talking about it for, you know, the last 3 weeks, you know, like getting ready for this. So it holds weight, maybe not in numbers, but certainly in quality.
Thank you. In terms more of a global perspective, not so much just the micro Jesters Junior tournament, but in junior development in general, and the future of the game in general. Any ideas on what we can do, not just as Jesters, but just as squash enthusiasts, and what needs to happen? Is it in the schools? Is it the universities? Is it the clubs? Is it the socialization of sport? You know, there's a myriad of factors, I recognize that, but just interested in getting both of you guys' opinions on what needs to occur for us to keep our game growing and giving the opportunity for everyone to play.
He gets 2 questions. Yeah, we're having a conversation.
I honestly actually think that the game is growing. What I see just from the scope of being a professional player is that the tour is growing every year, and if you know, I think there's over 400 ranked players now, with a bunch at the bottom being tied at the 400 and whatever position. So with that said, I think that with more professional players, there's got to be more of a base of where they're coming from. And so honestly, I've never seen so many juniors coming out of Calgary. It's a pretty decent junior program in Edmonton. I'm sure out east in Toronto, I know there's tons of kids playing out there that I don't really see there being any problem with the game growing, just based on the levels of the increase in prize money in the tour and more guys playing on the tour, more juniors, more tournaments. I think squash is on the right track. I guess the biggest kick would be for squash to get the recognition in the media, and that's been kind of a big downfall, just because it is a hard game to, I guess, publicize, just because it is a difficult game to watch on TV. You lose that three-dimensional aspect, and the rules are a little bit challenging for the layman just to turn on the TV and watch the game. And there's tons of lines, and there's referee calls, and there's stoppage of play, so it makes it tough for the game to grow beyond that level. But I think, you know, with time, as more players play and everything continues to grow, that I think over time the game will eventually hit the TV, and, you know, Olympics would be huge as well. And as soon as the game gets into the Olympics on TV, then, you know, there's no stopping it.
All right, we only have time for a couple more questions. Jonathan has to get on the flight. Colin?
You gotta get on. Go ahead.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
I'm going to jump in the line here because I think it's a very important question. Sorry about that. I've watched juniors play for many, many, many years. And I've seen, obviously, Jonathon, who was very, very young, and achieve his goals, and Matthew as well. But I don't think Matthew's achieved his yet. And one of the things that I've always said to juniors is that you have to distinguish between the will to win and the fear of losing. And some juniors, as they come in as a top-seed player, they worry more about that than they do about the game and anything else. And now that you're coaching, how would you try and teach somebody just to play to win and not worry about losing?
Yeah, that's a big thing, and I was talking with the juniors I've been working with like only a couple weeks ago, because they keep playing up in their age group. They're like ranked third under 13, and they're playing under 15, and I think it's because they're dodging people. And they just think, oh, I did good, I got quarters of under 15, but I'm only 12, or whatever the case may be. So I just believe in a lot of competition and a lot of winning and losing, and days, and life is all about that. From the time you wake up and to the time you go to bed, just little wins and losses in your day. And I like to, when I do my training with the kids, and what I like to do is I like to put school. How would you coach it? How would you? That's what I'm getting to. So what I do with the kids is I put scores on pretty much everything. I put scores on drills, and I really teach competition, and that you're going to play so many games in your life that they become forgotten, right? But when you're in the moment, you play for the score, right? You play to win, and that's the only way you can really get better, is just being put in that situation. Learn to lose, learn to win, figure out different ways why you lost and how to get better at it. And the only way you get better at that is by playing. When I was a kid, I would play men's tournaments. I would play against the women in the club. I'd play against the other juniors. I'd play against everybody all the time. And I would just spend time on court. Some guys you were so much better and you kill, and some guys you get killed by, and you just learn the different reasons of why you win and why you lose, and how you can sort of make that work from a game of drills or a game of checkers. Like, there wasn't a game of checkers that I grew up playing with my brother that if he had a lead on me, I didn't tip the board. So I never learned to lose, but I did learn to win. That was the
When you were 9 years old, you weren't very happy.
That was it. So I mean, I believe in a lot of competition, and I think that's the essence to the life, and little wins and losses in your life.